Close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing on the roof of the world, 29,000 feet above everything you've ever known. The air is thin, the wind is roaring, and below you, the entire planet curves into the horizon. Now imagine being the first American to ever stand there. That moment happened on May 1st, 1963. And today, the man who made it real is gone. Jim Whittaker, the first American to summit Mount Everest, has passed away at the age of 97. If you're over 65, you probably remember hearing his name on the evening news. You remember that feeling, that quiet pride. Stay with me, because this isn't just the story of one mountain. It's the story of a generation that believed anything was possible. Just yesterday, his family confirmed the news from his home in Port Townsend, Washington. There was no long illness, no dramatic final chapter, just a peaceful goodbye after a life that helped redefine how Americans saw adventure, nature, and themselves. Jim Whittaker wasn't just a climber. He became the face of American possibility at a time when the country needed heroes. Picture this: long before the crowds, the challenge was silent and immense. It's 1963. John F. Kennedy is in the White House. The space race is heating up. The world is watching every American move with curiosity and doubt. And high above it all, an American expedition is attempting something many thought couldn't be done. Everest had already been conquered once, 10 years earlier, by Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, but no American had ever reached the summit. Many believed it simply wasn't possible. The mountain was unforgiving. The cold could kill in minutes. The oxygen was dangerously thin. One mistake meant the end. But Jim Whittaker didn't listen to the doubts. At just 34 years old, this quiet, determined outdoorsman from Seattle pushed forward with his Sherpa partner, Nawang Gombu. Step by step, they climbed higher. The wind howled, ice cracked beneath their boots. Every breath became a struggle. And then, on May 1, they reached the summit. Jim Whittaker stood at the top of the world. He planted the American flag, looked out over the vast curve of the earth, and radioed back a simple message. We did it! That moment spread across television screens and newspaper headlines all over America. For millions of families watching at home, it wasn't just news. It was proof. Proof that ordinary people could achieve extraordinary things. Proof that courage, preparation, and belief could take you further than anyone expected. You remember that feeling, don't you? That sense that anything was possible. It was a feeling shared by an entire nation. But what makes Jim Whittaker's story even more powerful is what came after the climb. He returned home a national hero. He met President Kennedy. He could have spent the rest of his life living off that one moment. Instead, he chose to build something bigger. He took leadership of a small Seattle-based company called REI and helped turn it into one of the most recognized outdoor brands in America. Through his work, he made hiking, camping, and exploring the outdoors accessible to everyday people. The gear in your garage, the backpack you carried on a family trip, the tent you set up with your kids. In some way, Jim Whittaker helped make those moments possible. He continued climbing, he mentored young adventurers, and through it all, he stayed grounded. Friends say that even in his later years, he still had that same quiet strength. And that same spark in his eyes whenever he talked about the mountains. And maybe that's why this loss feels different. Because when Jim Whittaker reached that summit, many of us were just starting out in life. Watching, learning, dreaming. His achievement wasn't just about climbing, it was about what it represented. A time when the world felt wide open. A time when we believed we could go further, reach higher, and become more than we ever imagined. And now, as we say goodbye to one of the last great pioneers of that era, we're reminded of something important. Those dreams didn't disappear. They remain a part of who we are today. They live on in us, in our memories, in the stories we tell our children and grandchildren. Jim Whittaker lived a life that reminds us who we once wanted to be. Strong, brave, curious, willing to take that next step, even when the path looked impossible. Every single step matters. So today we say thank you. Thank you, Jim, for showing us what it looks like to stand at the very top. and still remain humble. Thank you for reminding us that the greatest journeys aren't just about reaching the summit, but about inspiring others to begin their own. Rest in peace, Jim. Your legacy is written in the stars and on the peaks. The mountain will always remember you. And if this story brought back a memory or reminded you of a time when the world felt a little bigger, then stay with us. Follow Xplained daily for more stories like this. Stories that matter. Stories that stay with you. And before you go, tell me this. What does Jim Whittaker's climb mean to you? I'd really like to know. See you in the next one.